Welcome to Business Book Daily, where we pull one useful idea from one business book and turn it into something you can actually use. Today's book is Gap Selling by Keenan. Keenan is a sales strategist, speaker, author, and founder of A Sales Guy, known for teaching problem-centric selling. Before we get into the book, today's episode is sponsored by CommissionOnly.com. Want to sell more without adding fixed sales salaries? Many companies hire commission-only reps, experienced sellers who get paid only when they produce. Post your opportunity on CommissionOnly.com and get in front of motivated reps who are already looking for performance-based roles. That's CommissionOnly.com. Now back to gap selling. The big idea is simple. People do not buy because they like your features. They buy because a current problem is costing them something, and the future state is valuable enough to justify change. That sounds obvious, but a lot of sales teams do the opposite. They lead with the product. They explain the features, benefits, demos, pricing, proof points, and all the polished little details that make the internal team feel proud. Meanwhile, the buyer is sitting there thinking, fine, but why should I change? Gap selling argues that great selling starts by finding the gap between where the customer is now and where they need to be. The sale begins with the customer's current situation. What is happening now? What is broken? What is slow, costly, frustrating, risky, or underperforming? Then it moves to impact. Why does that problem matter? Who does it affect? What does it cost in time, money, growth, customer trust, employee energy, or missed opportunity? Then it moves to the future state. What would better look like? What result does the buyer actually want? The bigger and clearer the gap, the stronger the reason to buy. That matters because buyers do not change for mild interest. They change when the cost of staying the same becomes too clear to ignore. Good salespeople help buyers see that cost honestly. The first concept is selling the problem, not the product. Buyers care about their problems before they care about your solution. A salesperson should understand what is happening now, why it matters, and what it is costing the buyer. The product only becomes useful after the problem is clear. This is where weak sellers rush. They hear one small pain point and immediately start presenting. But if the buyer does not fully understand the problem, the pitch has nothing to attach to. The second concept is finding the current state. The current state is the buyer's reality today. It includes their process, challenges, missed goals, delays, frustrations, costs, risks, and broken workflows. Without a clear current state, the seller is usually guessing, and guessing is expensive. Guessing leads to generic demos, weak proposals, bad qualification, and follow-up emails that basically say, just checking in, which is sales language for, I have no idea what is actually driving this deal. The third concept is defining the future state. The future state is where the buyer wants to be. This could mean faster growth, fewer errors, higher revenue, better retention, less wasted time, or a smoother customer experience. The future state gives the buyer a reason to care about change. It turns the conversation from, here is what our product does, into, here is where you are trying to go. The fourth concept is measuring the gap. The gap is the distance between the current state and the future state. If the buyer is losing time, wasting money, missing targets, frustrating customers, or creating risk, the gap has weight. If the buyer only has mild curiosity, the gap is weak. And weak gaps usually become weak deals. They turn into price discussions, delays, ghosting, or the classic, we'll think about it, which often means we do not feel enough pain to move. The fifth concept is asking better discovery questions. Strong discovery is not a checklist. It is a real investigation. The best questions uncover what is happening, why it is happening, who it affects, what it costs, and what happens if nothing changes. A weak discovery question gets a surface answer. A better question gets to the business problem underneath. If a buyer says, we need more efficiency, do not stop there. Ask what is inefficient. Ask how long it has been happening. Ask who it affects. Ask what it costs. Ask what happens if it does not improve. That is how sales becomes problem solving instead of product reciting. So how do you apply this? Start by rewriting your sales process around problems, not product features. Before any pitch or demo, Make sure your team understands the buyer's current state, pain points, business impact, and desired outcome. Next, improve discovery calls. Train your team to ask follow-up questions that reveal cause, cost, urgency, and consequences. Do not accept vague answers like, "We need more efficiency," or "We want better reporting." Push for what that actually means in time, money, risk, or missed opportunity. Then connect your offer directly to the gap. Your proposal should show the buyer what is broken now, what better looks like, and how your solution helps them move from one state to the other. Finally, stop chasing weak gaps. If the buyer does not have a real problem, clear impact, or strong reason to change, the deal may not be ready. Better qualification saves time and helps the team focus on buyers with real business pain. Here are 3 insights worth sharing. First, buyers do not buy because your product has features. They buy because staying where they are has become too costly. Second, weak discovery turns sales into persuasion. Strong discovery turns sales into problem solving. Third, the best salespeople do not create pain. They uncover the business problems buyers already need to fix. Gap selling is worth reading if you sell, manage salespeople, or lead a revenue team and want stronger discovery conversations. It's also useful if you want to stop pitching features and start selling around real business problems. You might skip it if you want a relationship-based sales book instead of a direct, problem-centered sales framework. Today's closing sponsor is memoirghostwriting.com. Many of the best business books begin as ideas leaders have been refining for years. Frameworks, philosophies, and lessons learned the hard way. Writing the book forces those ideas into clear form, and once they're on the page, they can travel far beyond a single conversation or presentation. At memoirghostwriting.com, we write memoirs and business books for entrepreneurs, founders, executives, and industry experts. We handle the interviews, structure, writing, editing, design, and publishing, so the final product is polished, professional, and built around your voice. If you've ever thought about what a business book could do for your authority, speaking, consulting, lead generation, or legacy, visit memoirghostwriting.com. That's it for today's Business Book Daily. One book, one useful idea, and one smarter way to build.